Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be doing another game review. This game actually ended in a draw. So in this game I was playing as black and my opponent was playing as white. This game was actually long, and at the end my opponent just played this kind of a great move sequence. You'll see it when I get there. So like almost part of the game I was losing, mostly the middle game, but at the end game was mostly draw. Hence it ended in a draw. So let's check it out and see what happened. My opponent started with an Imzo which lost an attack. Then I responded with the king's pawn opening to e5. Then my opponent played b2 to continue with the attack. Then I played knight to c6, also continue with my development because I'm not really under much attack. I was just protecting my pawn there. Then my opponent responded with pawn to e4. Then I counter-attacked. It's not a counter-attack, but it's like a pawn exchange, like with pawn to d5, looking for the pawn exchange, which my opponent accepted and I took back with the queen. Then my queen was attacked by the knight to c3. Then I moved queen back to the original square. But the better move here was maybe to move queen here. But which is also inaccurate. Maybe other squares would be better of moving the queen, I'm not sure. But all the squares look inaccurate. So I guess pushing back the queen back to the original square wasn't that bad move. So let's continue. Then my opponent played bishop to b5, pinning my knight to the king. Then I responded with bishop to d7 and pinning myself. Then my opponent continued with developing, playing knight to f3. Then I played bishop to d6, protecting my pawn because my opponent was looking to capture the. If maybe I played another move, let's attack the bishop. My opponent will probably take, and then when I take back, probably take the pawn. So that was the idea of playing knight there to f3. Hence I played bishop to d6, putting more protection on my pawn. Then my opponent castled the king side. Then I played pawn to e6, which my opponent captured the knight. Then I captured back with the bishop. I prefer having double bishops than a bishop and a knight, or knight and two knights and a bishop. So I prefer having two bishops than knights. So it was good for me in this position. My opponent played rook to e1, attacking the king's pawn. Now I have to put more protection to it, which I did by playing queen to f6. Then my opponent responded with playing knight to e4, attacking my queen. Then I moved queen to f5, which is a mistake. And my opponent didn't see this mistake. My opponent played the queen to e2, which is a miss. The best move here, or the better move to play, was for knight to capture here. Then after I capture with the pawn, then my opponent will capture back with the other knight, which is a player move because this allows a fork if I capture back with the pawn. And then I play this fork, this royal fork. So hence that move of capturing my bishop was the best move in this position, but my opponent missed it and played queen to e2. Then I castled the queen side. Then now my opponent plays the move which they should have played earlier. Then I capture back with the pawn. That doesn't really do anything. Then my opponent played pawn to d4. And I captured the knight there, captured back with the queen. And I captured the queen, which kind of like exposes the king, but doesn't really matter because we're in the end game now. So even if the king is exposed, there are no that much of pieces that can actually attack the queen because I only have two rooks and a knight, so the king is not really in that danger. That's why it doesn't really matter in this state of the game. Then I capture the pawn on d4. Opponent capture back with the bishop. Then I played knight to f6, connecting my rooks. Then opponent captured the knight. Then I captured the pawn. Then the knight with the bishop with the pawn. Sorry. Now we are in the end game, and you'll think the game actually kind of it ends here, but there's a lot of moves that were played after this pawn move. My opponent played knight to e7, then I played knight to g8 with a check. The king moved, then I played knight to g7, protecting my two pawns. But the best move here was to maybe play So let's go back to that position. The best move here was to play here, looking for this knight exchange. So, but I opted to use the other knight. Then I moved king to b8. Then my opponent played rook to d4. Then I played pawn to b5. My opponent responded with pawn to c4. Then I go for pawn exchange, take back with the rook. Then I played pawn to d5, attacking the rook. Then my opponent attacked the pawn with rook to c6, attacking the pawn on, I think, on a6. Then I pushed the pawn. My opponent played the king. Then I played check. The king stand in front of the pawn. Then I moved my other pawn. The best move here was probably playing knight here. If my opponent captures it, then I'll capture the king. Then the king will have to move, probably to this square here, I guess. But this is a blunder too. I'll probably play, but these are blunders. I'm not really sure what will be the next move in this position. Let's analyze. Was probably maybe to move my maybe capture here. That's also a miss. I don't really see any way forward here. Let's see. Let's see if I play rook here. Guess this is also the best move. Yes, playing rook to c2 will be the best move in this position. Yeah, so that ends it like that, moving the rook there first. But of course I moved the pawn. Then my opponent played rook to c3. Then I played rook to g2. Now it doesn't really matter because the rook came back. Then I captured that. Then I opted to capture more pawns than the rook exchange. After my opponent captured, then I captured the rook check. Then I played rook to h3, captured the other pawn, and captured the pawn there. I was calculating my pawns, like I have 3 pawns now and my opponent only has 1. So after it, then I played rook pawn to a4, looking for the exchange. But the game here is technically a draw. There's nothing I can do because my opponent can just prevent the pawn from promoting. So after that, I protected my pawn. Then the game just went forward. And my opponent played rook to a7, played king to d8. The game just went forward. This is just a back and forth. Not You don't really need to analyze. After playing it, this was the idea of capturing my rook, because let's say if I play the king here, my opponent will probably play, and then I play the king here. Maybe I will prolong the game, but it's technically a draw. But I was looking for my opponent to make a mistake, which they didn't, and I went for the rook exchange. After doing this exchange, the game was over. There's nothing I can do. My pawn is not. It's in the center. If the pawn was on the end of the board, maybe I would have chance of promoting. But the center pawn is not to promote. The king just has to stay on the 3 squares that it's given, or the 6 squares. So the game was technically a draw. Here I was just playing to see if my opponent would make a mistake, but of course they didn't. And again, that's how the game ended, with a draw. Let's go to, yeah, this is the draw. So that's how the game played out. There's nothing I could really do because the pawn is in the center. I could have maybe prolonged the game by maybe not going for the rook exchange, but that's how the game played out. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, comment, share, and until we see each other again.